Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new, welcome. My name is Darian, and in today's video I am really excited to finally film. You guys have been asking it time and time again, and here I am. I'm going to film it. I'm so excited to do this. So in today's video, as you guys probably already read by the title, I'm going to be giving you guys 5 tips of advice on what to know prior to your clinical rotations. So if you are not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, please subscribe down below for weekly uploads. I have been super consistent with them and I am very proud of myself. And go ahead and give this video a big ol' like. I'm also going to post all of my social media accounts down below. So if you want to follow me like on a weekly basis, go ahead and follow me on those. So, is there anything else that I need to tell you guys? Yeah, so if you guys also want to see any new content, if you guys want these things to not only be nursing focused, but if you guys want to see like beauty tips or, you know, like other things that I do in my life, comment down below on some things that you guys may be interested in, because I am always open to filming new material and new content, and I absolutely love doing this. Alright guys, so if you guys are ready to get into this video, go ahead and take out a pen and paper just to write down these little tips. Eat your popcorn, eat whatever you gotta eat, and enjoy this video because I am ready to jump right in. Alright guys, so the first tip that I have for you is to come prepared to your clinical rotations. I know this probably sounds like a little redundant, you hear it time and time again, but make sure that you are literally packing the things that you need a day before clinicals start. For me, I would do it every single night before clinicals would actually start, because I had clinicals I believe it was 5:30 in the morning. They say to get there 30 minutes before, because of course, like, being on time is basically being late in nursing. So I would get there, you know, like at 5 a.m., which means it was like a 30-minute drive to the actual facility that I was assigned to. So if you do the math, I'm basically waking up at 3 in the morning for clinicals 2 times every single week. It was insane. So all I can tell you guys is to come prepared. Bring compression socks, because you're either going to be standing for 8 hours during that clinical shift or 12 hours. Mine was 12 hours because we were so lucky. So yes, bring compression socks, bring a notepad to take notes when you're following your nurse around, bring a little pen light, bring medical scissors, because everything that they either list like on the requirements that you need to bring to clinical, please don't forget those, because if you do, you will quickly find out that your clinical day is probably not going to go the best, because I don't know, for me, if I'm unorganized, if I like misplace things, if I'm not ready to go, my day is just kind of thrown off. So there's that. Alright guys, so my tip number 2 is to leave any personal opinions at the door before you walk in. Come into your clinicals with a clean slate. You know, any troubles, any problems that you're having in your personal life, don't bring those into your clinicals, because it will seriously play the biggest role on how you perform for that day. I do say also to set your personal opinions aside, because when you work with patience and when you see certain things, some things aren't always going to be okay in your own personal belief, you know, but you have to remain focused, and you have to realize that you are a nurse, or you are a nursing student, you're going to be a future nurse, and your only job is to be there for your patient and to take care of them. And yeah, I also want to say within this one, be prepared to see crazy things. You know, sometimes I wouldn't eat before clinicals, or, you know, I would skip my snack time because I knew that I was going to follow the wound care nurse around. And if you've ever shadowed a wound care nurse, you know how crazy those wounds could get. So just really come prepared, come open-minded, be prepared to see things, because it is going to come at you. Alright guys, so my tip number 3 is going to be create an amazing, awesome relationship with your nurse that you are shadowing. I've probably heard this time and time again, but your clinicals are seriously your guys' interviews. I have such a beautiful story about my first clinical ever. Like, this was my block 1 first clinical. I was shadowing a nurse. She was a nurse who had been there at the long-term care facility that I was assigned. She was there for the longest, and she knew the ins and outs of this entire facility. The patients, oh my gosh, she was just incredible. So I, you know, shadowed her for that day. We hit it off. We connected on a whole other level. We were laughing, talking about our own like silly lives, you know, and our our past that we came from and stuff. So long story short, at the end, she ended up just asking me, hey Darian, you know, like, here's my phone number if you ever need anything, if you are interested in ever working here when you have your degree, you know, here's my number, let me know, like, I am really close with the coordinators or whatever. And she gave me her number, and we still talk, you know, here and there till this day. So it was just like an incredible thing to actually like look back on and reflect off of, because when they say clinicals are like an interview, they truly are. And I would just say, really create, even if you're not shadowing a nurse, if you are shadowing a CNA, sometimes you even learn more from a CNA than a nurse, you know? So be open-minded, come in and just be prepared to learn from whoever that is willing to teach you, because a lot of the times, I can tell you from my own personal experiences, some nurses aren't too friendly, some nurses really don't want to teach a student. They're on the roll, they have, you know, they have their day already planned out, and they don't want anybody interfering with that. So when you get a loving and a kind nurse that is more than happy to take you on for the day, really appreciate them, because at the end of the day, they don't really have to do that for you. All right, guys, so tip number 4 is going to be take advantage of the time that you are there at your clinicals. I know I preach this so heavy, but at the end of the day, guys, this is your education. I always think about my prerequisites, and like when I was in high school, I always think like in high school, sorry guys, I don't tell on me, but in high school, you're not afraid to cheat. Hey, let me see that answer, you know, like what'd you get on this, what'd you get on that? But when you come into nursing school, and a few of your prerequisites too, like, it's the real deal. Like, these classes on your knowledge are truly going to define who you are and what nurse you're going to be. So there's really no room for error there, because like I'm telling you guys are paying for this education. Take advantage of it. If you feel like nobody's paying attention to you, you don't have a nurse that you're shadowing, go shadow a CNA. You know, like, they're more than happy to have extra hands to help them, to help bathe a patient, to whatever it is that they're doing. Just get your hands a little dirty, because it's only going to benefit you in the long run. And sometimes I always say that, like, I'm never going to see these people again. So if they think that I'm annoying, well, sorry. Like, it's I'm sorry, you know, I'm never going to see you, but I really don't know this, so I'm going to keep asking. So a part of the take advantage of the time that you are there, I also want to just say you want to do everything that you are allowed to do. So yeah, so make sure as a nursing student, you are doing all that is in your scope of nursing, being a nursing student. You don't want to be inserting a urinary catheter if you didn't get signed off on that inside of your lab class, you know? So make sure that everything that you are doing in your clinicals is correct, you know, that you are allowed to do those things, because you don't want to break any of your institution policies or even accidentally hurting a patient. You know, like, this is real life. These are real people. You want to practice in your scope, and you don't want to just ask a nurse, like, if a nurse tells you, hey, do you want to do this for me? You know, like, you don't want to instantly say, yes, like, let's just do it, because you want all of this experience. Like, you want to protect yourself, you want to protect your future license, you want to protect the patient that you are working on, because it is their health. And even though a task may seem simple, like, oh, you know, like, if a nurse asks you, hey, can you get this patient's glucose check? And you think that you can do it because you do it all the time on your grandma, like, oh yeah, it's simple. But you really, really don't want to do anything that you are not allowed to do. What I would always do prior to any nurse asking me any small tasks to do is I would call my clinical instructor. We had her phone, we would text her, and she would come over and she would watch me to make sure that, hey, you know, you're doing it safe, and yes, now I believe in you. She'll check me off, and then from there on out, I was able to perform that task. So I don't know if that's an option available to you guys, but I would definitely recommend something like that, because you don't want to put any bad juju on your name so early on, you know? Alright guys, so my last and final tip is going to be my tip number 5. This is going to be, don't be afraid to ask questions. I say this because if you have a question, most likely the person sitting behind you who is super shy has the same exact question, but they just don't want to ask it. I am a firm believer in taking advantage of your education. You're paying for it. What the heck, like, take advantage of it, you know? So with that being said, no question is ever too dumb. Don't think that. Sometimes I just need reassurance. You know, I feel like I know the answer in my head, but I'm gonna ask the question just to confirm that I actually know it. I'd rather be safe than sorry any day. Alright guys, so that actually concludes this video for today. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. I tried to make it really short, sweet, and straight to the point. It was only 5 tips. I know that's not a lot. Maybe I'll make this video in the future on my Block 2 clinicals, you know. So that is what I got, what I collected from my Block 1 clinicals. Alright guys, so have a beautiful, blessed rest of your guys' day. I will see you guys next week in my Sunday weekly uploads. Bye guys.